Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. We are really glad you're here today because we have to talk about a specific word that has basically hijacked the tech world lately. I mean, if you log onto LinkedIn right now or just open almost any sauce dashboard you use for work, you're going to be bombarded by the word agentic. It is literally everywhere. It's become this shiny new sticker that vendors are enthusiastically slopping onto pretty much every software update they push out. But here's the massive problem with that. How loosely this term gets used is creating a huge amount of confusion for the people actually trying to use these tools.
Absolutely. And look, I want to be super clear right up front. This is not just us being pedantic about tech grammar. The distinction between an actual agent and something that's just agentic matters immensely. It's the fundamental difference in setting your actual real-world expectations about what a piece of software can do for you and what it simply cannot do.
Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're going to tackle the AI marketing buzzword problem, firmly define what a true agent is, explore the agentic spectrum, put these definitions to the test with an assessment debate, and finally, cut through all that vendor hype so you have a solid mental framework going forward. Section 1. The AI marketing buzzword. Let's really set the stage here, because right now, we are dealing with a massive case of buzzword fatigue across the whole industry. Honestly, it feels like overnight, every simple chatbot, every basic automated script got rebranded as an autonomous AI agent.
Right. The landscape is incredibly noisy. We're at that point in the hype cycle where the vocabulary is moving way faster than the actual underlying technology. You'll constantly hear these marketing pitches like, our new AI is fully agentic and will revolutionize your workflow. And you hear that, and it sounds amazing, right? But it's almost completely meaningless without a standard agreed-upon baseline.
Exactly. In a lot of cases, it's just cynical marketing. What vendors are doing is deliberately blurring the lines between software that simply talks to you and software that actually does things for you. And those are two fundamentally different paradigms. Building an AI that can generate a polite, grammatically correct sentence, that's relatively easy now. Building software that can reliably execute a real task without your supervision is incredibly difficult. So by calling everything agentic, companies get to ride the hype wave without actually delivering on those massive engineering challenges. Section 2. Defining a true agent. I always love when we get to bring some strict definitions into the Wild West of AI. It is time to ground ourselves. So the crucial point is starting with the noun form. What is an agent? An agent, as a noun, is a system with a closed perceive, reason, act loop that actually changes something in the world. It doesn't just produce text. That last part is the absolute anchor of this entire explainer, not just produces text. Think about it like this. You could have an AI model write a beautiful, technically flawless Shakespearean sonnet about a broken car carburetor, but if it can't actually pick up the phone or use an API to order the replacement part from the mechanic, it is not an agent. It's just a very impressive text generator. To be a true agent, it has to take a definitive action that impacts the real world or a digital environment. It has to close the loop entirely, without you holding its hand. Let's break down those three properties: perceive, reason, and act. Imagine a system monitoring your inbox. First, it perceives. It essentially reads an incoming email from your boss. Second, it reasons. And I want to slow down here because reasoning is complex. It's not just thinking, it involves complex logic, checking constraints, resolving conflicts. The AI analyzes the text, realizes it's an urgent request for a meeting tomorrow, checks your boss's time zone against yours, and cross-references your calendar to find a free slot. And then comes the magic third step. It acts. It automatically generates and sends a calendar invite to your boss for 10 a.m. without you ever touching your keyboard or clicking a mouse. That action, sending the invite over the network, changes the digital state of the world. That closed, completely unsupervised loop is what makes it a true agent. Section 3. The agentic spectrum. Now that we have that rigid definition of the noun, let's tackle the widely misused adjective form. This is where the marketing gets incredibly fuzzy. Agentic, as an adjective, describes a system that has some advanced, agent-like qualities, but crucially, it falls short of being a full, standalone agent.
Right. It possesses some really advanced capabilities, but it fails to complete that full autonomous perceive, reason, act loop. And this introduces the whole concept of the human in the loop. An agentic system does the heavy lifting for sure. It reads the data, crunches the numbers, figures out the plan, but it ultimately passes the baton back to a human being to cross the finish line. You still have to click approve or copy and paste the result yourself.
When we talk about agentic traits, we're looking at things like multi-step reasoning, tool awareness, and partial autonomy. And what's really vital to understand here is that agentic is not a binary yes or no thing. It's a wide spectrum of behaviors. A model might be slightly agentic because it can take a massive prompt and mentally break it down into 3 logical steps before writing an answer. Or, moving further down the spectrum, it might be highly agentic because it has tool awareness, like it knows it's bad at math, so it autonomously writes a Python script or uses a calculator tool to check its own math before answering you. But on that entire spectrum, it still isn't an agent because it's just handing the final result back to you as a block of text.
Section 4. The Agent Assessment Await.
Let's move to and see how this builds into practice. I'm going to challenge you to apply these strict definitions to 3 concrete, hypothetical systems. Let's see if we can easily separate the real agents from the merely agentic. System 1. You log on to an e-commerce website, and there's a little chat bubble in the corner. A standard, static FAQ chatbot. You ask it, "What are your business hours?" and it spits out a pre-programmed answer. Is this an agent, or is it agentic? Oh, okay, I'm shooting this down immediately. The verdict is neither. It's just a simple script, it lacks multi-step reasoning, it lacks tool use, and it absolutely lacks real-world action. Calling this an agent is pure marketing fiction.
Wait, let me play devil's advocate for a second here. It answered my question dynamically without a human customer service rep needing to type anything. Doesn't that autonomy count for something?
Not in this context, no. Simple logic branches, basic if-then programming statements that have existed for decades, those do not equal AI agency. It's just a traditional hard-coded program wearing a modern chat interface. Okay, fair enough. I completely agree. Let's ramp it up. System 2. You ask an AI a really complex question about a breaking news event. It realizes it doesn't know the answer from its training data, so it autonomously uses a web search tool, reads 3 different news articles, synthesizes the conflicting information, and gives you a highly accurate, multi-paragraph answer. Now come on, it recognized a knowledge gap, it used a tool dynamically, it synthesized data. I'd argue it must be a true agent. Okay, I have to initiate a friendly disagreement here. You are completely leaning into the trap. Yes, it recognized a knowledge gap, and it used a tool. That tool awareness and the multi-step reasoning makes it highly, highly agentic. But look at what it actually delivered at the very end of all that.
It just gave me a text answer on my screen?
Exactly. It only produced text. It didn't buy anything. It didn't email anyone. It didn't update a database. Think of it like a highly capable research assistant who compiles an absolutely amazing, comprehensive report, but just leaves it sitting on your desk, instead of actually walking into the boardroom and presenting it to the directors. It lacks that final world-changing action. So the verdict is agentic, but not an agent. That is a brilliant distinction. The research assistant analogy really hits the nail on the head. Okay, final test. Let's escalate the energy. System 3. You tell the system you want to go to a specific, highly popular restaurant tonight. It searches the web for the restaurant, evaluates the available seating times on their website, cross-references those times against the meetings on your personal calendar, decides that 7 p.m. is the only logical slot, and then actively executes a booking through the restaurant's API. Yes, now we're talking. The verdict here is true agent.
And this brilliantly illustrates our definition. It perceived your intent and the state of your calendar. It reasoned through the complex conflict of available times. And crucially, it acted.
Right. Executing that booking via an API changed the state of the digital world. I really want to emphasize why API execution is the holy grail here. Changing a database via an API is the digital equivalent of moving a physical object in the real world. A table is now legally reserved in your name. It completed the closed loop entirely on its own, without you having to click a single confirmation button. Section 5. Cutting through vendor hype. So, now that we've done the rigorous classification, let's zoom out to the commercial reality of the AI landscape. Why is this distinction so muddy out there in the real world?
Well, it really comes down to commercial convenience. It is incredibly convenient for a vendor to call their text-generating chatbot agentic because it sounds advanced, it sounds autonomous, and frankly, it sounds expensive. It allows them to justify much higher software subscription tiers.
Exactly. But for you, the viewer, whether you are a company buying software or a developer building it, your expectations must be aggressively grounded in reality. The financial and time costs of getting this wrong are huge. Imagine a company buying an agentic customer service tool, thinking it's a true agent that will handle returns end to end. They deploy it and suddenly realize they still have to hire a whole team of human employees just to review the AI's text summaries and push the actual issue refund button. Accurately classifying these systems is literally the only way you manage practical limits and avoid that kind of massive operational disappointment.
To wrap up our core takeaways today, we want to leave you with this golden rule of thumb. Whenever a vendor pitches you a shiny new AI tool or you see a viral post about a new update, just pause for a second and ask yourself, does it just produce text or does it actually change the world?
It really is that simple. If it's just producing text, no matter how smartly it researched that text, no matter how many tools it used in the background, it's an agentic tool. You are still the one driving. But if it's closing the loop and taking definitive, database-altering action on your behalf, you've got yourself a true agent.
Now, what's really interesting is where we go from here. We've talked a lot today about that closed loop, perceiving, reasoning, and acting. But how exactly does an AI system pull off those three complex steps reliably without completely going off the rails and, say, accidentally emailing your entire company? That is exactly what we are going to break down in our next explainer, 3.02, the agent loop, perceive, reason, act. We'll dive deep into the technical mechanics of making true agents actually work safely. But until then, consider this. If we are rapidly moving from software that just talks to us to software that acts autonomously on our behalf, the real question isn't whether you're ready for AI agents, it's whether you're ready to let go of the steering wheel.